Hello, welcome back to Math Time with Professor Prime. And in this video, I want to talk about assessing the situation. I do want to get to a point where I talk about, well, what do you do before a test, during a test, and after a test? But before that, you got to figure out where you're at. Because you'll need to figure out where you're at so you can form a plan. So let's talk about that. Assessing the situation. Where are you at mathematically? And if you don't know, you can ask somebody. And when you figure that out, then the question becomes why. So, well, what is wrong? Figure that out. Why is it like that? Well, we could talk about that, right? So, whatever the issue may be, where does that problem stem from? Is it a background thing? And if so, why? Is it just I didn't have a strong foundation, or I was told that I wasn't going to be good at math because I couldn't do this? Whatever it may be, there's a reason why your background might be the way it is. Now, that's part of it, right? Or could be. Another thing is like, well, maybe it's motivation, right? Or maybe it's dedication. Maybe it's all three. Maybe it's something else entirely. My major point is that, well, there's a problem. There's a reason for that problem. And you got to consider internal factors as well as external factors. And then once you figure out what the problem is, where it came from, the next step becomes, well, what do I do about it, right? And before you start to get in that, well, what are you willing to do before you decide on that plan? What makes sense? What can you afford to do? Both of those count, right? What can I afford to do? What am I willing to do? And in summation, here's the breakdown. What is the problem? Where did it come from? How do I fix it? But also, what am I willing to do to fix it? And I think answering that last question first might be better. But either way, I think if these questions are starting to bubble, that's a good idea. And for the next part, I'll talk about forming a plan based on where you're at. And I think that's a good way to approach what to do in those testing situations. But I think it's also a good idea about like, well, what to do before you handle a new math class or a new math topic. It just could be good in general, I feel. So yeah, that being said, I hope this was helpful, and I want to break things down more in some later videos. So, Professor Prime out.